Kobane has taken weeks of hard pounding. ISIS threw tanks, mortars and bombs into the fight. And while the Kurds held the streets, F-16s have orbited above, ready to unleash their ordnance. Dozens of strikes have now gone in during the last few days, so much so that some Kurds say they can now hold the town. But what about Turkey? Its forces have looked on, and they've refused to allow coalition aircraft to launch bombing missions from Turkish bases. This whole Kobane battle has played out under the eyes of the Turkish military, with them determined not to intervene, and in the process incurring the wrath of the Kurds and, of course, Turkey's allies in the United States and NATO. The storm clouds of this crisis now gather over Turkey. Just inside that country, in the refugee camps north of Kobane, you find the human cost of this battle. Here, local volunteers, Turkish Kurds, have brought in organisation, tents and a mobile clinic. There are 100,000 refugees around this small town, Suruç. They want more outside help in their fight against Daesh or ISIS.
Daesh, he won't take all Kurdistan, not Kobane just, not Shangal just, not Afrin just. He won't take all Kurdistan. So I want from all world, he help me and help all people Kurdish.
Anger among Turkish Kurds has caused clashes with security forces and dozens of deaths this month. A 2-year peace process between Turkey and its Kurds is in danger. So is their Syria policy as reckless as it might appear? The skies glower over the city of Gaziantep further northwest. But here the Kurds are not in the majority. The mayor, a trusted ally of President Erdogan, believes their peace with the Kurds will survive.
Certain groups can try to disrupt this. Some people can try to use Kobane as a pretext to disturb our own internal peace or the peace process. But such a high price has been paid, so many lives have been hurt, that people have refocused quickly, and they believe that the peace process must be completed as soon as possible. We have the strength and the experience to do this.
Further northwest again, through the rain and murk in search of the bigger picture. This Lahia camp was established 2 years ago. There are now 1.5 million guests, as Turkey prefers to call its refugees, and most are not Kurds. The Turks accept that history and good neighbourliness require them to help.
It's not enough to meet their physical needs, to feed them. Terrorist organisations feed on ignorance. We need to prepare Syrian children. We need to educate them.
That means adult education classes too, like this. The old threads of the Ottoman Empire bind people in this region, and Turkey's government is now pulling on these ties, trying to enhance its regional role. President Erdogan came to this camp earlier this month and hinted that Turkey might move into northern Syria to create safe havens. There are all kinds of practical obstacles to that happening, but Syrians here that we spoke to loved the idea and waxed lyrical about Mr. Erdogan.
We're fine, we're happy. We thank Erdogan for providing everything we need. Safety, security, everything. It's better than our own country.
Finally then, to Istanbul, Turkey's business centre, one-time capital, and President Erdogan's hometown. Earlier this week, he denounced Western Lawrences of Arabia who'd brought war to the Middle East, and he put forward an alternative vision of a prosperous Turkey extending its sphere of influence.
The borders have become already meaningless, not only between Iraq and Syria due to the violence of the ISIS, but also between Turkey and northern Iraq in terms of, as you just said, increasing their bilateral sphere of influence and increasing the trade. And right now, the borders between Turkey and northern Syria are also becoming meaningless, and because northern Iraq delivered humanitarian aid to northern Syria via Turkey.
The Erdogan method involves ruthless divide and rule and appealing to people's pockets as well as their emotions. It's worked so far with the Kurds, just, and it's worked here in Taksim Square.
Can President Erdogan really turn the Syria situation to his advantage? Well, consider this. Taksim Square was the focus of protests against his rule 15 months ago that some thought would bring down him and his party. But he outmaneuvered them and now seeks to emerge on top in Syria too, turning a crisis into an opportunity.
So far, Turkey has resisted calls to plunge into the war that rages just to the south. But its leaders see the chance to play kingmakers in Syria, and that will mean getting more involved.